So today we'll see how to add icons. Okay. So there are a lot of icons present on the internet. Okay. But this font awesome is very commonly used. Okay. So let's see how to use this. So this font awesome. What is this font awesome? Font awesome is a UI. You can say it's a UI library. It's like bootstrap, but here we get only the icons. Okay, what does bootstrap provide us? Bootstrap provide us with components and utilities. So components, what are components? Like the nav bar, isn't it? Like this rounded thing, then these buttons. These things are provided by bootstrap. Okay, but the font awesome, what it does is it will only provide icons. Okay, so let's see. Let's create a file. Okay, so before using the icons, we have to add the CDN of the font also. So what is that CDN link? Before using the icons, we have to insert these lines into our head section. Okay, if we don't use this, that styles won't be loaded. Okay, just like bootstrap. In bootstrap we also add that CDN links, isn't it? So let's copy this and put it here. Okay, now we can start using the font awesome icons. Okay, so let's see what are the icons present here. Okay, so these are the icons. So let's say Amazon. Okay, so for this icon they have a link. That is that's not the link actually. We have a class equal to fab fa Amazon. Okay, so I copy this class and I put it inside the body. Let's see, it is loaded. Okay, maybe that one is not free. Oh, serial link is wrong. Oh, okay, okay. Is the error? It is not giving the serial. Hmm. Okay, so you can see here we got 4 icons. Okay, what is the first one? First one is fish, fs, fish. So when I apply this class, automatically the styles are applied. So here I have I. Even if I write span, I is for icon tags. Okay, but even if I apply span, then also it will come. Okay, so in that particular class, these are what actually bootstrap and font awesome, these are actually style sheets. Okay, they have a style sheet. In that style sheet they um, declare these classes. Suppose dot fas dot fa fish will have this types. It will be an icon with black color like that. Okay, so like this we can add a lot of icons. Like let's go for another one. Okay, we got the Amazon icon. So like this we can use a lot of icons. Then so last I think Saturday we did a task like this, isn't it? So the snap bar, can you do the snap bar with this icon now? Okay, please start doing it. That day everyone did it nicely, but there were some problems with the nav bar. Okay, some were not unable to adjust this width height, actually the height, isn't it? what was happening when we hover over it? It was coming out of the box. Okay, so let's practice that once again now, but we will do that with icon. Okay, okay. Only the navbar, no need of any other thing, just the navbar. So you can see here, we can also change the size of the icons. Okay, suppose what is happening, the icon which we used, our neighbor is very small, isn't it? Suppose it is coming out of the neighbor, it is very big, then we can resize it. Okay, we can put FAXS, FASM. LG is large, SM is small, XS is extra small. Then we have 2x, 3x, 5x, 7x, 10x. Okay, 10x will be this much big. Okay, so we'll use it accordingly. If we want small, we can use small. So everyone did the icons, right? Icons are okay. So now what we'll see is, we'll go through bootstrap. Okay, now we know how to use icons. First we have to use the CDN at the head section, isn't it? And then we can start using all those classes, then we can use the icons. Okay, bootstrap also works in a similar way. Here also what we do is, first we have to add the CDN in the head section, and then we can use all the existing bootstrap classes. Okay, okay. So first let's copy the CDN, paste it in the head section. Now we'll start using the classes. So first let's see. First I'll go through layout. Okay, what are the different layouts we have? We have containers. Okay, so let's see how, what are containers. Containers are a fundamental building block of bootstrap that contain, pad and align your content within a given device or viewport. What is viewport? Whatever we are seeing is whole screen. Okay, this is called the viewport. Okay, so we have a class called dot container. Okay, now let's see what is the difference if we use container and if we don't use container. Okay, so any page will have one heading, isn't it? Then we may have a p tag, then we may have a UL, how does this look like? This is how normally HTML will look. But what will happen if I apply the class container? So what I'll do, I'll have a div. I'll enclose the whole thing inside this div. Okay, and to this div I'll apply class equal to container. Okay, let's see. Earlier it was like this. Now you see that it is, the layout has changed. Okay, so if we inspect, we'll see that this class container, what happened, if I remove the class container, how does it look like? It looks like this. So here we don't have any margin padding around the content, But when we apply the container, what has happened? You can see we got margin from both the sides, and also a padding of around 20 px or something. Okay, so this is what container is. So if we don't use container, the layout doesn't look good. Okay, but how can we make that look good? We can apply margin, padding, and all those things, whatever we were doing till now, isn't it? But instead of applying margin to everything, what we can do is we can make a div, and we can apply the class container, and inside the div we'll put everything. Then what will happen? It will be organized uniformly. Okay, then what else do we have? We have container fluid. What happens in container fluid? Width 100%. What is width 100%? It will occupy the whole space. So if I apply this, it occupies the whole width. So it is like what to say? Without using container fluid, the same thing is happening. That means by default everything will take with 100%. But suppose I have a container, and inside that I want to have all the things to occupy the whole width. Then what I will do? I'll use container fluid. Okay, so here, but container fluid also contains one padding. Can you see on the left and right? Isn't it? If I don't have container fluid, okay, then also sorry. If I don't apply anything, there is no margin, no padding, nothing. Okay, if I apply container fluid, I get only a padding from the both sides. But when I apply container along with the padding, I also get a margin. Can you see? Okay, and it is always centered. Okay, so now the thing is, why do we actually need bootstrap? First thing is, we don't need to write styles again and again. We can apply the already existing classes. Okay, second thing is, all the things are uniform, margin, padding, everything. And the third thing is, it is responsive. Not responsive. What does responsive mean? That means it can be, see, if I don't use bootstrap, I made a whole page. Okay, big page, whatever you designed earlier, like image with paragraphs and all those things. It takes the whole width of the device. But if you open the same page in a mobile phone, what will happen? It won't look that nice, because we have written the paragraph beside the photo. But what will happen? Some text will be on the side, some will come below. It will be like that if we don't use bootstrap. But this thing is responsive. You see, this is Galaxy S5. If I go for iPhone 11, then also it will not affect the view. Okay, so this is called responsive. Then what else do we have? So what we have seen till now is, if we use container for every pages, it will look good, isn't it? Then there are many things. Okay, we'll come to this later on. Now the next important thing is grid. Okay, so we'll see this grid is very important. Okay, in books we see some columns, like difference between this and this. We have columns, right? And those columns are equally divided. That means if the width of column 1 is the same as column 2, right? and how to achieve that kind of thing. Okay, so let's see. I'll have a div. Inside that I want two columns that are equal in width. Okay, okay. So if you see here, what happened? First thing is container is applied. You can see from both the sides some gap is there, that is some margin is there. And then we had one div, and inside the div we had two divs. These two divs are divided into two equal columns. Okay, so how to achieve that? First, in the parent I'll have class equal to row. Okay, and then inside that we may have n number of columns. Like if I have 2, I have given 2. I can have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I put 6 also, I don't need to say what width should be there. I don't need to. Earlier what we were doing, if I want to divide the whole screen into 3 parts, we were applying width 33%, isn't it? If I want half, then I was applying width 50%, isn't it? Now I don't need to apply all those width and all. Okay, so simply I'll write a row in the parent, and in the childs I'll write call. Okay, now let's see how this looks. See, you can see it is divided into 6 equal parts. Okay, we don't need to worry about the width, what will be the width. Okay, now if you see, if I resize the window, then also it is not affected. It is, see, the width is also getting reduced. Can you see? This is called responsiveness. Okay, so if even if I open this in a mobile phone, see how it looks. Can you see? See, it adjusts according to the device. So this is called responsiveness. Then now the case was I wanted the divs, the columns to be equal width, isn't it? Now, what will happen if I want the columns to be of different width? Suppose I want the first two columns to be big and the rest one small. What to do for that? So, for that, we need to know how these columns are organized, how this grid works. So, actually, what does grid system do? This grid system divides our whole viewport, divides our whole display width into 12 parts actually. Okay, 12, there will be 12 parts. So one column will be actually uh, what it is called, 1 by 12 of the whole screen. Okay, so to see here. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll have two columns only. Now what I told just now is that the screen is divided into 12 parts. Okay, so suppose I want the first one to be a little bit big and the second one to be small. What I've done, call 7 and call 5. What is 7 plus 5? 12. So whatever value we write here, it should add up to 12. Okay, so what will happen if I do like this? Now if I write 6 and 6, what is the meaning? Equal. That means call 6 and writing call 2 times is the same. When we write call 2 times, it looks like this, isn't it? Even if I write call 6, it will look the same. Oh, what happened? Oh, sorry. See? Same. Okay. So, what if I write call 7 and call 5? Okay, I'll give another class. Just x. Okay. Don't think about this x. Why I'm giving this x? Just to apply the border and height. Okay. So if I write call 7 and call 5, it got divided into this. The first part is actually 7 times of 1 by 12. That is, this is 7 by 12 and this is 5 by 12. Okay. Like that I can have multiple, but it should add up to 12. I put here 1, 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 4, 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. So if you see this, it got divided into this. Okay, so we can divide our display viewport into 12 parts and use accordingly whatever we want. Okay, so this is grid. Then okay. Okay, then you can practice something like so. Can you make this? Please try this. Then we'll move to the next part. So let's see what happens if we put row inside calls. Okay, so I have another div. We have class call, and inside that call I have 3 divs which will have row. And to this row I'll apply the same X class that we used earlier. Why are we using X? For X we are giving border 1px and height 500. So let's see how does it look. So you can see what happened. We got one column which has 4 rows. We have one column and 4 rows, isn't it? So that's what we got here. You can see this is okay. I'll write row 1, then you will come to row R2, R3 and R4. Okay, maybe it's 100. See, earlier what was happening? In one row we had columns, 3-4 columns. Now what is happening? In one column we are having 4 rows. Okay, that is the reverse of what we did earlier. Earlier we wrote call inside a row, and if you write a row inside call, this happens. Okay, and this is also responsive. Crazy, you can see. Okay, so no need to create width, height and all those things for displaying some data. Okay, so using grids we can create tables, isn't it? We know how to create the rows, and also we have seen how to create the columns. So now we can create responsive tables, isn't it? So try this even. So if I write here row, if I write here call 6, what will happen? The whole call became half. But will it work here? No, it is not working. Only because the whole width of the uh, viewport is divided into 12 parts. But that doesn't mean that the height will also be adjusted, because height can be anything. Width is fixed, but height, what happens if we have the scroll bar? It will go on, isn't it? So that's why we can only apply the numbers to columns. Okay, so this column by default it is 12. We don't write anything, that is called 12 whole will be same. Now I can make call 8, call 6. Call 6 is half. Okay, like that. Okay, then try this once. Okay, so we have an array of objects. In this array of objects we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 objects are there. Each object is having first name, last name, age, gender, city, and salary. Okay. Now I want to print the first name of all the people. Okay. Then what do I need? I need the full name of all people. First thing is I want the first name. Second thing is I want the full name. Okay. Then in that full name, I want the first letter to be capital. That is Praveen and Gubbala is there. P should be capital, G should be capital.
अगर क्लास में भी मेरा है प्रवीण गुब्बाला, आपके क्लास में भी प्रवीण गुब्बाला, भूल जाएगा उनके नाम को.
So first thing is we want the first name. Second thing, I want the full name with the first letter capital. Then what I can check? Then I can go for all people whose age is more than 20. Okay, like that. Okay, you first do those two things. First thing is I want all the first names to be displayed. Then the full name. So these are the questions that is to be done from this array of objects. Okay, so let's do it. Please look into this. So we have another task, that is we have two radio buttons. Okay, if I click on mail, I've given two images in classroom, male and female. If I click on male, the male picture should come here. If I click on female, the female picture should come here. Okay, this is the next task after all the array of objects are complete. Okay, so if you have completed the array of objects, please start this.
Reduce step. This two values will take as 1, 2. Quantitatively, it will add 1, 2 as 3, and this place will store it in here. Then 3 will be taken to B. Now 8, 3 now. 3 plus 3, 6. And 6 will store in here. So finally it is returning the value of the only 6. Second target 6. So if it is an object, inside EA, it has to take EA or 1 or
It's very tough for objects. So what you have to do? This thing will not work if you don't give inside. Hey, you don't give the inside,
If you do the same thing with it, that is not intelligence.